So, good afternoon, Helen.
Good afternoon, Maya.
Thank you so much for agreeing to record this interview podcast or voice interview. I thought it will be so amazing to be able to ask a few questions because you came all the way from Canada.
Yes, and I would love to help out in any way, shape, or form because this has been an amazing experience.
Oh, wow. So maybe the first question, how did you find us here in Poland, where you have, Mexico that specializes in medical tourism, or probably in the US you also have some facilities. So how did you came?
Well, I did an internet search, obviously, a Google search, and I started looking at Mexico and what they offered and what was given in return. The U.S., you're sort of taken in for one day, overnight, and then you're sent back. And I thought, that's not what I want.
And how does the private service work in Canada?
They don't allow it. They send you outside of Canada.
Okay.
So they have all sorts of groups that, that make arrangements, but you still don't have it done in Canada.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But wow, it's at some point it's very fair for people who live there, but on the other hand, it's limiting.
Very limiting, very inconvenient, and as I said, you start doing the internet searches and you find out that what the services you're being offered in Poland are far more than what you would expect. And they're all encompassing because they cover off, helping you get there, helping you, make arrangements, looking after you while you're there, making sure that you have rehab and rehabilitation afterwards. This is all stuff that I didn't get when, I had my knee done back in Canada.
Yeah, because you've already had some experience.
Yeah, and it was just, I was really putting off going to get my hip done because of the bad experience. But it's a good thing I did come because, as it turns out, if I'd waited much longer, I would have been in really bad shape.
Yeah, probably we shouldn't discuss medical matters. But
yeah, I'm not going to get into it.
But sometimes it's better not to really wait until everything gets worse with the hip, because then you also can get some lower back problems and knee problems. And
absolutely, absolutely. And the fact of the matter is the waiting period in Canada for ever since COVID, it's just become ridiculous because everybody's surgeries are being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and you may get a surgery date of 2 years from now, if you're lucky.
What encouraged you was the package with rehabilitation and stay.
Yes.
And now you're already, how much is it? 11 days?
Yeah.
After the operation?
I think so, something like that.
Or 7, 8, 9, or no, it's 9.
Yeah, whatever. I lost count. It's so nice here.
So, you're leaving Poland in the next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. It will be quite a journey because, as far as I know, you fly from Katowice to Warsaw, then you get on the plane to Toronto, and then you have a domestic flight to where you live. So how do you feel now? Do you feel ready? Do you think it was worth to have the rehab package? And are you afraid of travel?
I'm no more afraid of traveling home than I was of coming here.
Sure.
Going home, I know that my pain, it may be localized rather, in where the incisions were and what have you, whereas opposed when I was coming, the pain was...
Did you use special assistance on the way here?
Yes, I did. I had to.
How could you summarize this experience? Did it help, or?
Well, of course it helped once I actually got it. The problem was that in Canada, the airlines, they all work with different companies as far as who's going to look after this client if he's going by this airline. Is it a Star Alliance flight? Is it this or whatever? So everybody's standing there going, well, I don't know who's supposed to look after her. And you're sitting there going, as long as I get on the plane and I don't have to walk, I'm okay. I'm okay. So once I got to Poland, to Warsaw, we just, hey, you got a different set of rules here. Everybody was absolutely the most helpful. And flying into Katowice, I mean, the gentleman there that picked me up from my flight and escorted me, and yes, he had to help me get on the bus to get to the terminal, but that was fine. He helped me. And he helped me get off, and he took me to my luggage to pick up my luggage, and he took me through customs, or no, I'd already gone through customs in Warsaw, so that wasn't a problem. But he met my driver.
Passport control, probably.
Yeah. He met the driver that you had sent to pick me up. The driver went and got the car. He stood there and waited for me until, you know, the driver came back with the car and loaded me up. I mean, he was just an absolute gem.
Wow.
So
if it looked like this all the way, I hope that this time the Canadian part will be more helpful then.
But no, seriously, I mean, if they know they're supposed to be helping you, and it was the transition between going from one airline to another that became problematic. So.
And how would you compare the costs associated with the 2-week stay with the rehab compared to the operation to hip replacement in Canada? I know you cannot compare like one-to-one because you don't have these packages with hip replacements. If you said you could not do it privately, but let's say you probably had some options, maybe
if I went through the US, it was going to cost just the operation, never mind the flights or any accommodations or any rehab afterwards, was going to cost in excess of $25,000 US.
Oh wow!
And so obviously, when it turned up to be closer to 15,000 Canadian, not including my flights, but it's still with the flights and hotels, came in under $20,000. So,
okay,
we're not comparing apples to apples here. It's just
yeah. So you feel like ready going home? Do you have any, I don't know, maybe suggestions for Canadian patients who are considering having the treatment in Poland but are afraid of, you know, the long distance and the cultural difference or language barriers? Or
the language barrier is not a barrier at all. I mean, I think everybody in Poland speaks English.
Well,
not everybody, but they do try, and if they don't speak it themselves, they'll find somebody that does speak it and help you. The language, so language is not a barrier. As far as making arrangements, don't be afraid to use your company because it's for real.
Thank you.
And you are,
but I'm like, for me, I really, even though I work with patients from abroad since 2016, I still admire people for being brave enough to make the decision to travel abroad, because this is a huge decision.
Well, the decision was either stay and be in pain or go and get it done.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.